This appetite personality blueprint will fix your overeating for good. Now, there are 3 key personalities for simplicity's sake: the big appetite, the golden or medium appetite, which is where you want to be, and the small appetite.
But Mr. Savvy, isn't having a small appetite good for weight loss?
No, it's not, and let me explain why. First of all, what in the world is appetite personality? It's the eating habits that you pick up along the way that will influence how hungry you are day to day. If your appetite is too big, you're going to gain weight rapidly, even if your impulse control is good. Now, on the other hand, if your appetite is too low, you will be skinny and frail, or God forbid, skinny fat. A perfect example of this is that one friend you have that always says he's eating 4,000 calories per day, but he just can't put on any muscle. The golden appetite is where you want to be. This is where you're going to be at your perfect weight. You're gonna get good hunger signaling, you can enjoy any food you want, and you can maintain and even grow your muscle size. Appetite personality can and will change over the years. It's a forever shifting and adjusting meter, and your goal is to steer it in the right direction, similar to keeping a thermometer at the perfect temperature. So for that reason, I also recommend you watch the entire video, because if you go from a big appetite to a golden appetite, you might end up with a small appetite, which then you would probably want to know how to go from small to medium. So number 1, let's cover the big appetite. This is personally where I started. How do people end up here? Typically, just throughout your life, you're fed high calorie, very palatable foods. And ever since childhood, you get used to eating these foods for years on end, which in turn leads you to having a big appetite. If you want to set your thermometer lower, if you want to move down from the big appetite to the golden appetite, you're going to have to feed your body low calorie, low palatability foods, which means they don't taste as good, and you're gonna really have to go to the opposite end of the spectrum here until your body re-regulates its hunger signaling and restabilizes your weight and your appetite. Over months and years, you are going to turn this dial down. You're gonna be able to eat healthy, have some junk food here and there, and still feel full whilst keeping a healthy body weight. So let's go over the 3 practical steps. Number 1, you want to reduce the calorie density of foods. So put simply, you want to start switching out junk food for vegetables and chicken breast. Now, you don't have to go from 0 to 100. This can take weeks, months, or even years. But some easy low-hanging fruit that I started taking out was eating a bag of nuts every single day, which gave me 1,000 extra calories. And after that, I was able to slowly reduce the amount of chocolate and candy that I was eating, which also helped tremendously. Number 2, exercise 2 times per week at minimum. I started with 3 times per week calisthenics and then added some cardio into my routine. When you're trying to lose weight, it doesn't really matter what type of exercise you're doing, as long as you're just getting more movement in and burning a little bit more calories. Now, preferably you do build some muscle so you don't end up being skinny fat, but this is all up to you. Number 3, reduce palatability. This is one that for some reason gets me a lot of hate online. If you're eating very tasty food, it's gonna be very difficult for you to lose weight. Now, sure, you can still lose weight eating chocolate every single day, but are you giving yourself a handicap? Yes. So an example of this is, instead of eating fried chicken for your protein, maybe have lean grilled chicken breast. This process will likely take 6 to 12 months to complete, depending on your starting point, and if you want to speed this up, that's exactly why I made our school group, which you can find in the first link in the description. Going from big to golden appetite is probably the hardest appetite personality switch that you can make. Now let's go to the other end of the spectrum, small appetite. This is where a lot of skinny people who have trouble gaining weight start. You need to focus on eating higher calorie dense foods, higher protein, and boosting your metabolism. If you are bigger, you have a bigger metabolism. The more food you eat, the faster your metabolism is. Skinny people have a slower metabolism compared to bigger people. The small appetite personality is the completely flipped mirror image of the big appetite personality. And if you just apply the opposite principles, you will go from small to the golden appetite. So number 1, increase the calorie density of foods. Instead of eating lean chicken breast, go for high-fat beef, add cheese in your diet, add nuts, and you can even sprinkle in some junk food here and there if you have trouble gaining calories. Number 2, lift at least 2 times per week. This is the only advice that doesn't apply to both appetite personalities. If you want to go from the small appetite personality to the golden appetite personality, you should probably be lifting weights and doing a little bit less cardio, because even though cardio is good, when you're putting on muscle, it has quite a high chance to hinder that growth. So lift 2 times per week at minimum. And number 3, increase the palatability of your foods. Just eat more tasty food. Once again, whether this is junk food or going from lean chicken breast to fried chicken, anything in between works, as long as you enjoy the food and it's high in protein and it's getting in the calories that's going to work. This will likely take 3 to 6 months, much shorter than the big appetite personality personality, and overall it's a much easier process. So now let's speak about the golden appetite. How do you know that you're here? As previously mentioned, you're at a good body fat percentage at a good weight, roughly 15% body fat for males and 25% body fat for females. You have good hunger signaling. You don't crave that much junk food, but you can still eat it once in a while and you're perfectly fine. You don't overeat it and you don't binge. And lastly, you are maintaining your weight or even slowly growing in muscle mass. Now, even though we covered all the 3 personality types, what if something were to break? Here is a secret dieting personality that comes at the result of dieting too hard, and that is the binge personality. So how do you know if you are here? Well, you seemingly have the physical characteristics of someone with a small appetite, like lower body fat percentage, lower energy, but you have the appetite of a big eater. Essentially, you're stuck in a cycle where you binge and you're trying to burn off the binge to compensate for all the food that you ate. Now, to escape this and go back to the golden personality, you have to do something very counterintuitive. You need to keep binging and going into your cravings. Let the cravings win, and over time, you're going to rebound back up to the big appetite personality, which then you can use those steps to come back down to the golden appetite personality. With all of this in mind, that has been your blueprint, and don't forget to stay savvy with your diet.